how to define the relationship and when to do it. In another word, what are we?
What are we doing? That's right.
Yeah. So in today's podcast, Cece and I, we're going to go over some of the things that you can do to help you define where you are in your relationship. So stay tuned.
Hey, Blissful friends, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode. I am your girl, Cece. If you're new here, hello, glad to have you here. And if you are back, hey, glad to have you back. I'm joined by my wonderful co-host here. What's up, babe?
What's up?
The husband.
Hey.
You like when I say my husband.
There we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Will, and welcome back to another episode of the Blissology Podcast. If this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit on the bell icon so when videos like this one come out, we can tell you. And in this podcast, we talk about
love, life, family, relationships, faith. What else we talk about here, babe?
sometimes whatever comes into her mind, she'll bring it up.
I'll bring it up and we're going to talk about it.
Absolutely. So as always, before we get into the topic of the day, we'll like to go into what we call our blissful moment. It's either something that happened to us during the week or something that we did.
What did you do?
I took a day off and we went to go have my daughter have one of her tooth extracted. I was a little bit anxious as to how it was going to come out, and it ended up being a little bit easier to handle than I thought. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Bit unexpected as to the things we were going to do, but at the end, I was more worried
He's
as
still
to
complaining
how she was going to handle it, how much pain she was going to be into, and it ended up being like, they were told that, allocate 2 hours for the appointment. And we were out in less than 45 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So it was a good thing. And I think it was painless.
Yeah, but
or maybe very mild pain.
But I think the thing is what she needed to get done didn't really, it was like a half of what she needed to get done got done.
Probably.
Because we were supposed to get the 2 teeth pulled out, because what happened is with our youngest child, her baby teeth are just relaxing, just hanging.
2 of them, not all of them, just 2.
Like there's like 2 of them. Like I don't want to go, so they're just sitting there, not wanting to go anywhere. And then she got like, her big girl teeth are like, okay, y'all babies need to get out of here so I can come down. And then the big ones are coming down on top of the baby ones.
Yeah, they're pointing in the wrong directions. Let's say that.
So. I mean, I'm just saying it in good English, in translation. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like, yes, I didn't want to be in the room because I thought it was going to be very, 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 very painful, because I'm like, man, my baby's going to be put to sleep and they're going to pull out like a tooth and it's going to be painful. But apparently,
but we didn't have to do that today,
apparently. But I was like, set on that. And I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to do what we were told that we're going to do the day of. And then what ended up happening is they just pull out the one that should have been out 6 months ago.
Yes.
The loose one. And mind you, she lost a tooth on last Sunday. And I'm like, kids, how many teeth are you going to be losing this month?
This is part of life. Old one has to get out of the way so new ones can come in.
More like the baby ones.
And when old ones are reluctant about getting out of the way, it causes the new ones not to get settled right.
They're too comfortable. It sounds like a job. But the old people just want to go.
I'm not going to go there. I am not going to go there. I am not
Come
going
on.
to go there.
You have people that stays at a job for 50 years. They retired there where they're like, they want to make it. Exactly.
I'm not going to go there. This is not my place. This is absolutely not my place.
Coming from a boss.
But this was our thing for this week. I know we will eventually still have to face it, because she will have to see an oral surgeon eventually, because they have to get them straightened out. I can't afford to have her have teeth pointing out in the wrong direction.
They have a name for those evil.
Anyway, so that's our moments, and if you have kids, you know, sometimes things don't quite happen the way you expected.
Right.
And as parents, you have to make decisions, and you have to do things sometimes that are a bit uncomfortable. Cece was very lighthearted in terms of how she was going to feel about her going through that.
Yeah.
Me, I just need to make sure the doctor's experience in handling such a thing.
My husband got under the doctor's nerve. Okay. Last time I don't know. I feel like this time I'm gonna let him take care of her because you did got under her nerve. You got under her skin.
I had valid questions, and obviously this wasn't me questioning her capabilities. It's just I needed to know what was going on.
I think in a way,
before we do anything, I need to get some very specific on what's happening.
Yeah,
but that was our moment. Say, listen, that's my child. And someone's gonna cut her anything out of her mouth or anywhere on her. I need to know that you're capable of handling it. If you have questions, believe me, I'm going to ask. Because if it gets to the point where I have to walk out and says, you know what, I'm gonna get a second opinion, I will do that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, this was our moments. Now let's get into the topic of the day, which is how do you define your relationship and when do you do it?
Yes, I feel like today's topic is a juicy one, right? You know, I feel like this is something that a lot of us need to do. Yeah. Like the DTR, which is define. What are we doing? What are we? Are we just a fling, a thing? Do we have a name? You know?
You can call it what you want to call it. It's your relationship. But, you know, defining what you are in a relationship can be one of the most exhilarating yet nerve-wracking experience for whoever's in it. So it's like stepping into unknown territories, or maybe a tightrope. Yeah, you have to find that right balance. How do you make sure that you are open and you allow yourself to be vulnerable? And how do you make sure that you don't scare your partner away?
Because it can be very scary.
Yeah, well, you know, some of us could be way too open and would disclose that we've done some unusual stuff, and it scares that person away. You know, and knowing when to have that conversation is just as crucial. Right. You know, because you don't want to rush into it too soon and risk overwhelming that person that you're with. Right. But you also don't want to delay it indefinitely and ended up feeling uncertain about where you are. Right. So finding that right moment to have that conversation is key.
I agree, because listen, especially if you I'm going to say this, a church-going person, and you see someone, like, for instance, when we were dating, when we were, as you guys know our story. Yes. When we were in the youth group, we were friends at first. And you just want to make sure, hey, I like this man, I like this boy, but then that's not the point. That's not what we're talking about here. Like, you like someone, but then you don't know if you don't know if they have somebody else, right? If you don't know if they're like just going around.
Yeah, at the early stages.
Because that happened.
But once we started hanging around a bit closer, when we get into meetings, she wants to sit next to me.
Oh my God.
That's kind of how things started happening.
That's not true.
Or if we go to a gathering where we're sitting to eat, she'll be right next to me. Or I'll be right next to her. But as we started getting closer to each other, we did get to a point where we're like, okay, well, what do we have here?
Baby, I was never like, let me get in between or let me sit next to you. You know me, I'm one of those people where
I can feel her if I
see you doing your thing, I'm going to pretend like I'm on the phone and see you coming towards me. I know how to,
like I said, you can feel her staring at you.
I wasn't staring.
A mile away.
Okay.
Just to make sure you're behaving.
But then there's
just to make sure I am behaving.
Well, yeah, I gotta check you. Like, hey, behave. You have someone here that's special.
Yeah. Listen, it does happen, and as you get closer with each other, I know we had gotten to a point where we had to kind of what are we doing? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, what do we call each other?
So today let's dive into some tips on how to navigate this delicate dance.
Listen,
we had our part of doing that dancing.
We did,
and I think we made it out okay, right? So you need to create a safe space where both you feel comfortable expressing your thoughts and how you feel honestly about each other.
Yes.
So that's where you start. So, it's important to approach the conversation with curiosity rather than confrontation.
And I would say this, it's important also for you to have this conversation face to face.
You can do it to via text.
I don't know about that. And mind you got to ask open-ended questions, right? Like, hey, how are you feeling about where we at? Or
you can type that on a text.
Oh my God, no. Well, I'm pretty sure nowadays, the Gen Zs will do that, but I'm pretty sure some millennials will do that. But I truly feel like
this was just me joking. You don't want to do that. Hey, listen, in a relationship,
but it does happen.
It could happen. However, I don't know if you really get the outcome that you're looking for, because this is a highly emotional conversation.
Listen,
right?
I highly feel like kids will do it face to face.
And then you get a response, I'm good. Right? But listen, if you're serious about this, find a moment to have it. Now, if you're kids, I don't think you're at the stage where you'll be serious about a relationship. I'm talking about if you're at the stage where you're looking to settle down, then yes. That's when you need to really define where you are. Yeah, if you're just a kid, you're just boyfriend, girlfriend, by all means, just do it. You can do it via WhatsApp or text message, whatever other means you use. But if you're at the stage where you're looking to settle down.
I think you meant to say via TikTok and not WhatsApp, because kids are not on WhatsApp.
Or something. But if you're at the stage where you are willing or you are looking to build a solid long-term relationship, this is not a conversation that you want to have via some electronic means. Get together with the person face to face. And have that conversation over dinner. Maybe go for a walk in the park. Maybe go hang out on the beach. Yeah, and have it be an intimate conversation. This way, you'll get the real person.
Yes,
and you'll get the answers that will help determine, okay, what do we do from here? And obviously, you mentioned asking where we are. How you feeling about the relationship
and
where we
your
are now,
thoughts too.
And what are your thoughts? Encourage the other partner to share their feelings while you're sharing yours. And I think a better way to go is that you start, you know what? I know we've been seeing each other for this long. This is how I'm feeling. Allow yourself to be in a vulnerable position and let yourself out there and then ask them. Because if you share first, they'll be more willing to share after you, because now they've gotten to hear all you had to say.
Imagine if it's the other way around. Imagine if you date someone for so long and then they not want to put a label on it, right? Not want to call it something that you were hoping to hear from the other partner, because that happens too, where the partner just want to hang and just chill, where you at his place or her place all the time, but then y'all never formalize this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, and this is where you have to have this conversation. I know we mentioned earlier, you gotta find the right time to do it, but don't delay it indefinitely.
Yeah, and don't pressure the other person as well too.
Yes, don't pressure it. However, if you've attempted to have this conversation and it keeps getting pushed off by the other person, you need to let them know that this is, or let her or him know that this is serious. This is important to you.
Yes.
So at that point, yes, it may seem pressured, but if I've been hanging out with you for 5 years and we have no idea where
5
we
years.
are. People that's been dating for a while. And if that's what you want, by all means, that's it. But if you want something more, you have to be able to say, okay, we gotta see where we're going. Right. So
where are we going? And I want to say this: defining, relationship doesn't mean putting a label. Yes, we need a label, right? It doesn't mean you got to put a label on it right away. We need to, I know for me, and I know for a lot of other women out there, we need to have a label on if whether we are boyfriend, girlfriend, or fiance, you my fiance, or whatever it is. And I think it's more important to understand each other's expectations and boundaries, like you mentioned earlier. And of course, where are we going?
Yeah.
Are we moving forward? Or are we just doing this?
It's I know earlier we mentioned timing is crucial.
Timing is everything, like TD Jakes.
And you have the conversation when both of you are feeling calm, connected, maybe intimate, not you don't want to ever have this conversation when you may be arguing about something, or you may never approach that conversation in a confrontational manner where it's spike an argument. No. So have that conversation. And again, I know you mentioned labels are important. I can look beyond labels. I think if both of you know exactly what you want and you agree that that's where you're going, what you call it is up to you.
Oh, we want a label. Call it what you want to call it. We want the world to know we are in a committed, and I am not just, his fling. I am his this. We want a label. And it's not just, I think you guys, men, don't really see it that way, the way we do.
Well, because here's y'all just like, look at it, what?
It is what it is.
If we're decided we're together and we're committed to each other, yes, there are stages we go in a relationship. Maybe we're boyfriend and girlfriend, and then now we are engaged, which means we've committed to marry each other in the near or the far future. Yes, but if I know that that's the commitment we've made, to me, introducing you, hey, this is my fiance, it doesn't carry that much weight, because that's me just portraying. That's just me broadcasting to the world.
Well, yes,
that I am that, and
we need to be broadcast. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, there's no woman in this world does not want to be broadcast to the world that hey, I am his. I'm engaged to this. This is. We don't want to just call. We don't want to just say this is my man. No, we want to broadcast. Hey, this is. I'm engaged to so and so. I'm married to so and so. I'm his wife. Nothing sounds so deep when you said I'm his wife. I'm her husband. Yeah. It sounds like, I'm off the market. Nothing sounds so good to our ears, but to you guys, it's just like just a thing. But to us, we definitely want the label. We want to make sure that, hey, am I your girl? Am I your girl? Are we in this where we both call each other this and that, just in case if you happen to have another fling?
And I'd say if you are having that conversation, make sure you know that your partner value that label, so you can make sure that you decided on the right label and act in accordance to that label. Yes, because there's some men out there have multiple women, but you want to make sure that you are labeled to, to be known as the girlfriend or the boyfriend. Another thing that's important when you're defining your relationship is it's not just about the word you say, but also the actions you take. Pay attention to how your partner shows up in the relationship. Are they consistent? Do they make you feel valued and respected?
Yes.
These are all important factors to consider when defining the relationship. And it's okay to have different timelines.
Right.
Some people may want to go 5 years. Others may want to go 2 years. Others may want to go 6 months.
The sooner the better.
Listen, some people may be ready to define their relationship as soon as they can. And others may be more relaxed and how quickly they want to define that. But be respectful of your partner's timeline and find somewhat of a compromise in between.
Yeah. And I think the key is to be patient and understand each other's pace. You may be a turtle. This one may be a zebra, where one is running faster.
No, a cheetah.
Cheetah. I said zebra, I'm a cheetah. And then you're like, okay, my man is a turtle and I get it. And you have to make sure, like, you give him some time. And if you find yourself on different pages, don't be afraid to have what you said earlier, babe, an honest conversation about, about where we are and where we're going. Yeah. And I feel like it's better to address any concerns, doubt early on into your relationship before you know it. It's too late, or before you know it, it's like, man, I pressured this girl into this and now
it becomes a problem.
So, yeah.
And ultimately, learn to trust your intuition.
Yeah.
If something doesn't feel right, or if you're unsure about where you stand, don't ignore those feelings.
Absolutely.
And yes, sometimes feelings can be wrong, but don't ignore them. It's good to sit back and ask, why am I feeling this way?
Right.
Is there something that I'm expecting that's not there? Or is this person behaving in ways that are inconsistent with what we planned? So don't ignore this feeling and take time to explore them and have conversation with your partner about those feelings.
Yes, I agree. And I always say that intuition is God telling you something like this is wrong. And even if you're with someone, you're dating someone and you feel like, man, this is something that I don't feel right about it.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to like step away from this, from your partner, from this relationship. And I want to mention this too, because I know some of us are very much like ladies, where we want the man to approach us to ask the question. Mm-hmm. But a lot of time, if you want to be bold and make a move, like Tony Robbins says, make the move and approach. Because sometimes we can just take our own sweet time and waiting before you know it. Another one comes by and just snatch him, and before you know it, you're like out of luck. You start crying. Hey, I wanted to be with this guy, and now he's not. Which happens.
Oh yes, it's possible.
Yes, it is possible.
Yeah, and you know, when you're in a relationship, you'll kind of learn what your partner's strong point is.
Right.
Some people are more like, let me just wait and see what happens. That they don't want it.
Right.
It's just that they're not the type who would just get up and do something. Mm-hmm. So they would sit there and look at it and hoping the other partner would do something. Right. And if you find yourself in a relationship where you want it, but you're afraid to take the step, take actions.
See, here's the problem, babe. Sometimes we don't want to take the step because we want to be treated as the lady. As where you treat me, and you always take the step approaching.
Here's what I say to this.
And the other thing is, we're afraid that you might see us the other way around.
So,
well, this girl is so fast.
You got to look at, are you willing to risk the relationship because you think that you may not be treated as a lady if you ask that person that you love so much to move on to the next step? Or do you feel like it's better to sit around and hopefully he does, and hopefully he does, right?
Hope and pray.
Listen, when you're with someone, you can tell if this person's really into you. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, about 99% of the time, if you take the step, you can't expect anything but let's move forward.
Right.
But sometimes we let our feelings get in the way. Or society says as ladies or as men, there's certain things that we should not do.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
So if a woman take action, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I mean,
in a relationship, if I'm with my woman and you take actions and there's something maybe I wanted to do, but maybe I was dragging my feet and I didn't do it at the time that I should have, and you bring it up, I won't see it as you being less than a woman. I would just say, you know what? This girl know what she wants.
Right.
And I think we all should know what we want. And if we know what we want, not that we're going to diminish ourselves for asking for what we want. I think when we take actions to get what we want, that should be applauded, not be looked upon as wrong.
I agree where you're going with this. That's life.
Yes.
In relationship, I think it's different. Just my opinion. I think it's different. I'm always going to go by a man should always approach a woman because this is what feels right.
So let me ask you a question. Uh-huh. If a woman approach a man and obviously they go to the next step in that relationship, just because the woman approached that man, does that mean that relationship won't work?
Listen, not.
No. So at the end, it makes no difference who approach whom.
It's just preference. I mean,
we all have our own preference.
We all have preference.
But that doesn't mean everybody has to. And I'm encouraging any one of you out there, whether you're the woman or you're the man, and
listen,
and you see that, you know what, my relationship needs to go to that next step, and you feel like, you know what, my partner is not taking that step. I want to take that step. I encourage you to do so. Because you could miss out on something good if you don't.
Listen, there's ways, okay? For those of you ladies out there, there's ways, okay? I'm a feminine lady. Yeah. I am. I really am. I really categorize myself as someone who's very feminine, very, very much all about, girls' power. Okay?
Don't put power in that word. No.
I'm all about let's find ways to get him into see you. Where, hey, this girl, I see you see me, so I'm gonna make sure that you see me. If that makes sense to you. I'm all about feminine girls power. Okay, girls power. So however way you want to look at it, because I feel like we have ways to attract men to see us. I want to make sure that you see me. But as far as me, walking to a drink and says, hey, how you doing? I've been feeling you and all that. It's never going to happen. I know I'm not the only one in this earth.
Now, so you're right.
Yeah, but if I wasn't married, if I was still, in a dating world, I don't know if I made it, I'll probably become a nun. I would I feel like it would be, to me, I feel like it's probably would be more like, hey, I want you to notice me. And once I see you notice me, then I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get the flirtation going towards you so you can come towards me and ask me out.
If we weren't married, I would have really tried that. I'll just keep my quietness.
But babe, you did that, though. We flirted. Well, this is how it happened. That's how we got here.
Yeah.
Right?
So if I had never said no, let's go on to the next thing.
You would have.
What if I never did?
Oh, you would have.
No. I wish I had known that.
I would
have just stood back and just pretend.
There's something about this girl here. Something about me. Yeah. Once you see me, it's hard for you to not looking at.
Here's what I said. Anyone out there who
isn't it true?
Yeah, she's right. She's absolutely right.
What am I right about?
That when you see this girl here, you just gotta do what you gotta do. And I did what I had to do. But anyway.
There you
go. But hey, listen, if someone's out there, I know she feels that women shouldn't take actions. I believe women
when it comes to relationship is what I'm referring to. Nothing else.
I believe when it comes
not business, not life, not children.
I believe when it comes to relationship, we all have to determine what it is that I want out of this life or out of this relationship that either I'm in or I'm looking to build.
Well, we do take action.
And
not the way you want us to take action.
And if there's something that you can do to help move that relationship forward, I don't see there's anything wrong for either partner to take that step. Because at the end of the day, it'll be beneficial to both. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Just remember, at the end of the day, the goal is to create a relationship that feels authentic and fulfilling for both parties.
That's right.
Who takes the first step? No matter. So, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to define your relationship on your own terms.
Yeah.
And in a way that also feels right for you.
Yes.
And your partner.
Yes.
I know, listen, we differ in terms of opinions, in terms of who should and who shouldn't. But at the end of the day, it's up to you.
Yeah, and I truly feel like it's okay if you, the ladies, want to say, hey, what are we? Where we at? Who are we in this relationship? If we are dating, if we have something going on, it's okay if I decide to say, hey, babe, listen, what are we? What are we doing here? Like, I want a label. Like I mentioned earlier. Give me a label. What are we doing here? Who am I?
That's taking action. And you taking action could just be you start that conversation. And what I say is whenever you decide to sit down and have that conversation with your partner, make sure you pay attention to your emotion. Start with you. And so you can continue to have that open and honest dialogue and potentially build that relationship you'd like to build with your partner.
Yes.
Start with you first. And obviously pay attention to your partner's emotions because you got to do your best to gauge it. Mm-hmm. Now, a relationship it's not something that only involves one person. There's always another person. So I'll speak to both sides. Know what it is that you're working towards.
Right.
And be honest. If you don't intend to be in a position where you want to move to the next level, be honest with your partner because you're doing yourself a favor and you're doing them a favor. This way, no one's wasting time on things that will not get them anywhere. So have that conversation. And again, whoever take the first step, whoever.
What? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the first step.
Whoever take the first step.
I'm okay with that.
It'll benefit both of you. Well, that's all we have for you guys today on this exciting and and confrontational conversation we just had. And we thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. We hope you found this episode helpful and insightful, and obviously help you see a difference of opinion. Although Cece and I, we see a lot of things the same way, but there's a lot of things that I just can't see them her way. But don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and share it with anyone. You know that could be, that this could be beneficial to. So, love is a juicy discussion, and relationship could be a controversial discussion. And I encourage everyone who's currently either in a relationship or starting a relationship to not back down from conversation that may feel uncomfortable. Obviously, setting your relationship or defining your relationship can be an uncomfortable conversation to have, but it's a necessary conversation to have. So have that conversation. And until next time, you know what? Before I say this, if you've had this conversation, I'd like to hear how you handled it and how you overcome it, or how easy it was for you to have it, right? So leave us some comments, share with us how you've dealt with it, or if you've known anyone who may have dealt with this type of conversation in terms of defining where they are in their relationship. Would like to hear. Obviously, we have our own experience, but I'm sure everyone can have a different experience because we are all different people. So definitely leave us some comments, give us some likes, share the podcast. Again, until next time, keep enjoying your relationship. We send you all our love and bliss. And we'll see you next Saturday. Peace.
Bye.